Guys, I have to apologize. Hiba Tagreed. Guys, I think Jamila is asking if we can delay the meeting the next week because I know that the next week you will be busy. So, do you agree with Jamila that the next week, just to take a rest? Hiba Tagreed.
يعني
Don't
Monday,
worry.
Sunday, قصدي
Uh,
Saturday.
I mean the next week. What do you think? You mean Saturday? Saturday today is okay. What about Monday? I mean, do you think that
Um,
Monday will
بعد
be?
بكرة.
Uh,
I don't have a problem.
what about you, Hiba?
Yes, I don't problem.
You don't have a problem. Let's ask Raed. By the way, you know what? I'm going to vote on the group just to decide if we have to meet or maybe just to stop for the next week because maybe most of you are going to be busy. Let me share the screen and let's go back. So guys, please, again, if you are talking about the same quantity, the same quality, you have to use as, adjective as. Let's take a look at this example. This example is saying the Eiffel Tower is tall. It is taller than. So this is the comparative. The Statue of Liberty. Now notice that, however, it is not as tall as the Burj Khalifa. So this is adjective. Notice that tall, short, happy. All these words are adjectives, so you have to use adjective between the two ases. This is example number one. Let me show you the next example. This is if you want to use not. Maybe you don't want to use not. So you notice that here we are talking about planes, cars, and houses. So we notice that this house is expensive. This is a normal sentence. It is more expensive than, this is comparative. So the house is more expensive than the car. However, it is not as expensive as. So if you want to say it is as expensive as, you are talking about the same, as I told you, the same quality or same quantity. For example, if you want to add here plus 0, they will have what? The same.
It is as more
Bravo.
expensive.
Is it more expensive if I want to add 0? Let me change the color. Maybe the color is deceiving. If I want to add 0 here, guys, and if I want to compare the house with the plane, which is more expensive?
It is as expensive as
Bravo. As expensive as, so I have to say the house is as expensive as the jet, jumbo jet, or the plane. Thank you so much. Why? Because the same quantity or same quality. But if it is not, you can use not. So it isn't or it is not as expensive as this jet. So this is it about as, adjective as. And this is another example. So we notice that Bruce and Ben isn't as tall as Bruce. So this is adjective. And don't forget that as. If they have the same tall, what should I say?
Ben is as tall
Bravo,
as
agreed. Bravo. Okay, Hiba and Raed.
Okay.
So this is it. This is another example again. This example is to compare about Jeff and Donald Trump. So Donald doesn't have as much money as. اوكي هلا بدي منكم شوي نكون حذرين. شوفوا تقولوا الرول واسمعوني منيح. انا لما استخدم الاز والاز وهي از، اذا كنت عم بستخدم الاز والاز I have to use adjective. بس مجرد ما يدخل الماتش والماني sorry, everything is going to be different. ليش؟ لأنه بعد الماتش والماني you have to use a noun, not an adjective. Again, if you want to use only as you have to use adjective in between. But if you want to add much and many, Here you have to use a noun, but not an adjective. Okay? So this is the rule that I want to mention. Please be careful about it because, again, it is little confusing. This is another example. Notice here that there are not as here, and we have as. But notice that between two as's, we have what? We have many. Because we have many, notice I used people, and people is a noun, not adjective. Please don't forget that many is for countable noun and much for uncountable, because if you want to take a look at the previous example, we have money. And because money is uncountable, I used much. And here, because people is countable, I used what? Many. Okay, guys, so again, please be careful because this is as, and maybe I want to use many or much. Be careful because you have to use a noun, but not an adjective. If you want to use only as without much and many, here you have to use what?
Adjective.
That is it. Thank you, Tagreed. Okay, guys. This is if you are talking about the same quantity or the same quality. So notice here that we have two girls, Jessie and Janin. We noted that Jessie is 160 centimeters tall, and Janin is also 160 meters tall. So Janin is as tall as Jessie, the same, exactly the same. So here, if you are talking again about the same quantity, and notice that tall is adjective, but it isn't a noun at all. So this is the something new. I needed to be careful about as and as. Let me check if we have something important 3 times. Okay. You can, guys, you can say this example if you want. We notice that here we have two shoes. We have the pink shoes and the red shoes. Absolutely, the red shoes is more expensive 3 times. You can use as adjective as, but you have to please remember the number of times by using them. So notice that 3 times, this is it. More expensive, you can say that as expensive as, but I mentioned here the 3 times. So the red shoes are 3 times as expensive as the pink one or the pink ones, okay? So you can use this rule if you prefer, but be careful about the number of times. So this is a 10 times as old as 10, because if you want to do the math, this is 90, this is 9. And absolutely, because we have 10 times, you can say 10 times, Tim's grandfather is 10 times as old as Tim. So you cannot say 10 times older than 10 because please be careful. So this is it about as. This is what I want you to be careful of because this is the something new that I want to mention. And you can use a lot, absolutely a lot, if you are talking about too much things. So we know to say that we have to say a lot, if you remember in the example. So let me go back to the recording and let's complete listening.
Has a can-do feel to it.
What about the climate in these places? What was the weather like?
It's interesting. Singapore is very near the equator, so it's a lot hotter than Shanghai.
So is a lot hotter. A lot hotter. Double T because consonant, vowel, consonant. Okay, but it isn't.
But it isn't as hot as Dubai.
What?
As hot as Dubai.
Now as, exactly. Don't forget that hot is adjective. So it isn't as hot as Dubai. Dubai is we have that, it's superlative.
Dubai is the hottest place.
So
Hottest.
the hottest, this is superlative. Double T, EST, the hottest place.
When I was there, the temperature was over 40 degrees.
Wow, that's incredible.
Singapore is very humid, so it's wetter than Shanghai.
So, Singapore is
Wetter than
wetter. Thank you, تغريد again. Wetter than أكثر رطوبة Shanghai. So, wetter than. Okay.
But Dubai is the driest.
It is
Driest?
driest. How can I write driest? DR, okay.
R
Uh-huh.
I
I, okay.
E
Bravo.
S
Bravo. And
T.
absolutely, thank you, Tagreed. Any adjective ends with Y, delete it and replace it with I. So this is it, okay.
It only rains for a few days a year.
Where did you like most of all? Where was best for you?
For me, Shanghai is the best because it's the busiest and the most exciting.
So
The best?
the best,
The best.
bravo, because it's the
Busiest
busiest, bravo, is the busiest,
and the more exciting.
and the what, Tagreed?
Most.
The most exciting city, exactly, the most. So here we are talking about superlative. So this is it. Be careful, please. Notice here that bigger I used much. This is much. If you notice, much bigger. I used much bigger because there is no as at all. So if you want to use many, much, you can use it only with adjective. But if you want to use as, double ases, be careful because with ases after much and many, you have to use a noun. And if you are talking about the same quantity and quality, you have to use as, adjective, as. So this is it. Now let's recap. Now, absolutely, we have adjectives. Now we have to discuss the comparative and superlative of these adjectives. What is the superlative of old?
The oldest.
Oldest, bravo. And superlative, the comparative, sorry.
Older.
Older, thank you, Terry. Small, what is the comparative of small?
Smaller.
The superlative,
Smallest? The
smallest.
smallest?
smallest, thank you. Ra'id, what is the comparative of new?
Newer,
And the superlative?
newest,
Bravo. Hiba, the comparative of busy?
Busier? The busiest.
Thank you. Tagreed, noisy.
Noisier.
Uh-huh. And
The noisiest.
the noisiest, thank you. Ra'id, dry.
drier,
Uh-huh. And
Driest.
yes, the driest. Okay, Ra'id.
okay,
Hiba, big.
Bigger? The
Mhm.
biggest.
Exactly. Tagreed, wet.
Wetter.
Uh-huh.
Wettiest.
The wettest.
Wettest.
Oh, bravo. And finally, Ra'id, hot.
hotter,
Mhm.
hottest,
The hottest, thank you. Hiba, important.
More important?
Mhm.
Oh, the most
The most.
صح?
Exactly.
Important.
Exactly. Right, modern.
more modern, and
Mhm.
the most modern,
Exactly. Finally, تغريد exciting.
More exciting.
Uh-huh. And finally,
The most
the
exciting.
most exciting. Thank you. Don't forget, please, all these adjectives end with Y, so I have to replace it with I and add E-R-I-E-S-T. And here we have consonant
Double.
bravo. We have to duplicate the final letter. These adjectives have more than one syllable, so absolutely I have to say more and the most. The only two exceptions, as I told you, is bad and good. What is the comparative of good?
Better.
Oh, bravo. And the best is what?
The best.
Superlative. Superlative. Bad, what is the comparative of bad?
Worse.
Yes, worse.
Worse.
The superlative. It is the worst. Am I
Worst.
right? Yes, it is the worst. So be careful about these two exceptions. And if you notice, guys, that here with comparative, I'm talking about comparative, please. Notice bigger and smaller. If it is less than bigger, you can use a little or a bit. It's a bit bigger than. It's a little bigger than. If it is more than bigger, you have to say it's a lot or it's much smaller than. So this is what is new in this course. Be careful about them. And absolutely, if you are talking about negative, you can say it isn't as adjective as, and if you are talking about the same quantity, the same quality, you can use as adjective as, it is as hot as, and you have to mention the noun. Be careful because here much and many, I have to use it with adjective. But if you want to use much, many with two as's, after them, there should be a noun, but not an adjective, because most of the students commit mistakes about using them. You don't have to. By the way, it's not the end, and I think now the next class, we are going to compare these four people. We have Kevin, we have Agnes, and we have Marcel. Finally, we have Marilu. So the next, I don't know if we are going to meet on Monday, but the next class, we still have a certain exercise about comparative and superlative. And we have more exercises about much, adjective, many, or maybe nearly, or if we are talking about the same quantity, if they have the same of thing, the same kids, the same rooms, bedrooms. And I think that this exercise is very important. Okay, guys?
Okay, teacher.
So this is the last unit, not only the last units, but the hardest. Please be careful. So if you have any questions, absolutely you can ask me.
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
Thank you, guys, and I have to wish a good
Thank you, teacher.
afternoon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye, bye-bye.